Yo, we're back with more Grady's Attorney. Time to continue yet again. Hopefully this should be the last one for the case. Who knows?
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry.
Oh, that's a new one. That is a new animation. You okay there? What was he saying there? Hungry and couldn't help herself. Oh.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, this will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put...
Okay, I gotta voice this one properly. One sec. Hydration check. I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Damn, nice line. Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Rinosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it all comes together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... what?
Just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward. There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Satoru Hosonaga. Take the stand.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak.
And as well as admitting to steal Kurekuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Tan Shud? Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier of the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
Listen, never manhandle someone's meat, okay? You just don't. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly, surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over.
You just solved this case yourself, buddy. He just realized his own words, didn't he?
You did switch the plates.
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders.
So you swapped it.
So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable.
However, fear not, Prosecutor Son.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform, that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over,
It means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes?
Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah!
Oh, that's a new one. She is on the verge of collapsing.
That is correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
Dun 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 dun. I just peeved my mic. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No.
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something that the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. There it is. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please feel free to examine it.
There we go. Cut with a knife and blood right on it.
The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look.
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is.
Yeah.
That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. Somebody's getting fucked. Oh, the swan died. Well done. I guess you can say that this is your swan song.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me by a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no!
Oh, she's... Oh, man. Well then. I guess you can say that she has flown the coop. And she's dead. Well, I can be certain that she is not going upwards. The little chicks are very cute, though. Was not expecting that.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure.
And yet you're still putting on the mask.
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Oh, I know she's searing with anger underneath. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using pure air. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you plan to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because cure air is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place a steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Watson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure Air in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Ryunosuke's just like, I knew I should have lifted her dress.
Under your skirt?
So I was right. There were two guns. Damn it, I should have lifted her dress.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably left on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, the deed was done.
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun.
Well then. That's the truth of the case. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency.
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Well then. What was her motive for murder, though? We never really heard that, did we?
It would seem. This trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Takatsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. Oh, and we're back to the darty eyes.
You better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. It's funny because because his line extends into the main series, and he is forever a punching bag, forever to be defeated in the first case.
You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new.
The future is now, old man.
Oh shoot. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Dude, he's about to do some freaking eye slash on him. EI. Damn. Got rid of that top knot. Destroyed. What a legend. 1,000 millennia may pass and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Wow. Talk about... Would you call this foreshadowing if it's a prequel? This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here.
And that continues to modern day in Japan, where they have basically overtaken in a lot of senses because of that.
I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider worlds that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh damn, this is the first time we've seen ourselves looking forward.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
Yay! We did it! Yeah! Oh, cherry blossoms. Nice, instead of confetti.
We did it. This court is now adjourned.
Gavel hit. I don't have a gavel. I don't have a hammer. No. I don't have one on me right now.
2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants and Chamber 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke.
Finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thanks, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yumeyu University Street. Don't forget.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report on Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikatoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Same last name, definitely related. Speaking of Mikatoba.
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was... Oh, sorry. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
I'm yawning. Yes, that's right. Professor Mikatoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you work together? I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down at anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes after you cut off that man's top knot. That reminds me, what's happening to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of it. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, sorry, I thought it was like Susato. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. Well, it's all gonna change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Can you two stop being on the same screen? I have two similar voices for you, I think.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
For Professor.
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest the carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective host, Naga-san, aren't you?
Let's not worry about details for now. To la carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, the carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh yes, thank you.
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Yeah, that's what I said right before the trial ended. Kazuma.
Yes, Ryunosuke.
I just want to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through any of that again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke.
I think I got an idea what he's gonna say. Did what you told me to do, that's all because I know I can trust you. That's what a defense attorney is supposed to do, trust in their clients.
You know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
Nope. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
Defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
See, I called it. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the court, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful is what you choose to believe in even then. Well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your clients. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well,
You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, because you never stop believing in me.
Thanks, Cosmo.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
Sounds serious. What is...
Ah, you're still here, are you?
Not at the right time, man. Oh, Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you, we'll be right there. Oh, sorry, that was Cosmo.
Let's pick up this conversation again later. You should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Ah yes, that too.
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Sato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Wow. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial.
Hosonaga was just like, damn, I wasn't expecting to get roasted today, but here I am. I thought I was the one doing the cooking. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. The end. La da 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 dun dun. Dun dun da la da la da la. Saving. Save complete. Alright. I don't know what'll happen once I leave this. I feel like it's gonna kick me into the next case if I press back. Let's... I guess one thing's off here. It's a bit shorter than... But it's a bit shorter of an episode, but I think I did pretty good, honestly, at calling the last one. I mean, we're only like a few minutes under what we're usually at, so yeah. That was a great case, though. For a first case, there was a lot of stuff. I was surprised by how I called like a few things there, I think. Like I ended up what did I predict? This series in general is one of those things where I think it gives you enough clues that you can like reach the conclusion before you can pull conclusions before the game tells you them outright. Like you can take someone's, like, for example, they talk about certain stuff and then it comes up way later and you mention it and you're like, oh, I know. And then you think of stuff and then you say it and then later it comes true and you're like, oh, I'm so smart. The game does a good job at stuff like that, and it's real nice. Oh, so there actually are parts to it. It says trial part 1, part 2, and part 3. Interesting. But yeah, I guess next time on Great Ace Attorney, we'll go on towards the second case and see what the story has in store next. I'm still wondering what happens to Giselle Brett. Why would she kill Wilson? That motive has never been explored yet. Though this series has a history of bringing previous cases up. Like having, not always, but sometimes, like, very old cases come back in, like, some unexpected way. So, I don't know, maybe there's some in there. But yeah, I'm actually gonna do my outro this time. Next time on Greatest Attorney, we go on to the second case and see what's in store. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, mata ne.